was a typo, and I'm like, welcome to Under Two Capes, the premier Comics League podcast. And you know, I'm feeling kind of Phoenixy today. I don't know. It's almost like I want to play this.
So this is where you hang out.
So you and Starfire finally tied the knot, huh?
No, me and Batgirl.
Hi, guys. Oh, I do.
Yes, son of a biscuit.
Why is my
Never
camera
gets up.
like this? So Nick is making a grand return to Comics League. What's up, brother? Well, welcome back.
It's good to be back. Let's have a
Just when he
time.
thinks he's free, I drag him back in.
Kicking and screaming, mind you.
Yeah. So, and I'm here with Teladia and Robert. What's up, gentlemen?
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, I know you asked me to come on because you wanted to talk about Superman video games. So I just thought, why not, right?
Yeah, I'm particularly glad I have Nick and Teladia in on this one because they're both the gaming guys. So I'm like, I kind of had to ask the gaming guys. And by yeah, Cameron's like, Nick is back. Yeah, apparently people missed you, brother.
Well, Cameron's a regular on my stuff too, so it's always good to see a familiar face.
Oh, he's cheating on me with you? Oh man.
No,
I feel you two-timer.
People are allowed to view both of us. People are allowed to like both of us.
I know. I'm just joking around. And what's up, Robert?
Yep, that's why you guys could hear me. That's all.
Yeah, we can. So we're
That's
gonna,
right, brother.
Well,
So
did
what
you guys
we're
hear I said earlier I had a rough day today at the dentist.
It's all good. So today we are discussing Superman video games. Why we haven't gotten that many? Why it's hard to make a Superman game, and like how we would do it. So first, let's. Thank you, Cameron. Thank you.
Traitor.
You only do my favor. Why, thank you, sir. But I appreciate loyalty. Anyway, so let's talk. Yeah, I am a dictator like that. So let's talk about Superman. Now, let's talk. I want to go around the panel real quick. And what are your guys' exposure to Superman in games? I'll start with Teladia.
Okay, so my exposure to Superman in video games, it's kind of a bad one, really. It's 64.
You mean it didn't have something to do with killing the Justice League?
Jared, don't push your luck. Don't push your luck.
Silence.
Don't push your luck.
It's all good, brother. Is that all?
No, Superman 64 was my exposure. Like first when I was a kid.
Oh, you poor bastard.
baby. You poor guy.
Because, mind you, 64 was the hype of the time. You know, you had GoldenEye and all this stuff. And Superman was one of those games that I just like, I thought I might as well pick it up. But then it turns out to be crap. So
it turned out to be hot.
You don't like flying through rings with awkward controls?
Yeah, exactly.
It was hard for me. It was hard for me because I was only able to use the one hand at the time. So
plus also isn't the Nintendo 64 the console that had the controller intended for people that have three hands?
that's the one with the 3 sticks in it.
Well,
yeah.
yes, but actually no.
Whatever. I'll go to Nick. How about you, dude?
Well, as the resident old man of the group, I'm heading you off on those inevitable jokes. My first exposure to Superman video games was a lot of the beat 'em ups and the arcade games of the early to mid 90s. And like Teladia, I had to go through the Ring of Fire. And by Ring of Fire, I mean Superman 64. And by the way, Ring of Fire is what I'd actually prefer to leap through Ring of Fire than play that stupid game.
Nice.
But yeah, beyond that, the odd appearance in like Injustice or whatever. But yeah, I think can I say the reason why I think Superman hit?
Yeah,
I didn't want to skip ahead. So
I mean, actually, you know what? Let's go. Let's complete going on, and then I'll start with you. I'll start with you. How about you, Robert?
And for me, it was the Death and Return of Superman beat 'em up was the first time one I ever played.
That's a good
And
one.
when I did do Superman 64, I thankfully had a game genie I could use to get through it all, so I didn't have to torture myself.
Talk about playing with power.
Yep. Or Game Shark, sorry, not Game Genie, Game Shark.
Don't worry.
Because that was for
A
the
genie is
N64,
the
but
same
yeah.
thing as a shark. Everyone knows that.
True.
But so for me, all right, I played a lot of Superman in other games. Like obviously, Justice League Heroes is one of them. Injustice was really the first that I really like, because that was like the first like DC game I really played. But in terms of solo games, I would have to go with Superman Returns, and I'll talk about this game throughout the stream because I love this game. And I'll talk about why this did this well, but the point is, this is, I think, in my of the games that I have played, the best Superman experience. Anyway, so let's go over to why we think that it's tough to make a Superman game. And as promised, Nick, I'll start with you.
All right. So I think the reason why it's tough to make a Superman game is literally the exact same reason why it's tough to write a good Superman story. A Superman comic book story is because the character is so powerful. It's not like he's nigh invulnerable. It's hard to make credible threats for him.
Yeah.
Because Superman is a character who fights gods. Like that's why there's a gajillion Batman games. Because just like Batman, it's very easy to write a compelling Batman story. It's very easy to create a compelling Batman game because he's human or whatever. Because Superman is so powerful, it's hard to create threats. And I think like the reason why people keep referring back to Superman Returns is while it's a mediocre, subpar game at best, it does have one brilliant idea. Which, may I say it, Jared?
Let me real quick because it's a little more about that. So Superman in the game is invulnerable. He is. The way they kind of do it is using his powers like heat vision, frost, and regular breath drains his like stamina. And when he's at 0 stamina, one hit will like knock him out, but you can still just get back up. What Returns does is it makes it, and actually I'll read it right here because in the game guide, they have a section on that. Designing a game around a near invulnerable character is very challenging. It seems that no good solution unless we went down the everyone uses kryptonite route, which that is like an idea that probably a lot of people do. There's a gameplay crutch that they didn't want to use. So it's the idea of Metropolis health. Because Superman would be, if Metropolis was destroyed, he would consider himself a failure. So it's like, that's technically the way it works. So Metropolis's health is your health. If that gets too low, you get a game over. And I'm like, okay, that's the way to do it. But anyway, continue, Nick.
Yeah. Thank you. So yeah, like I said, it's like a subpar, mediocre kind of game at best. But I had like one brilliant idea, and you're not the only person that I've seen refer to this idea. Like I've heard honestly every discussion about a Superman video game inevitably leads back to Superman Returns, because that idea of using the city as a health bar is honestly a brilliant idea.
Trust me, it gets really hard in that game when you're balancing your powers and then because there's a villain that you use called, I think he's called like Riot, who keeps multiplying if you punch him, and as you're dealing with like a group of riots here, more others are causing destruction. So you're like, hurry the F up and die. It's really good. But anyway, so are you done?
Yeah.
All right. Teladia, how about you? Why do you think a Superman game is hard to make? Or do you think Nick actually nailed it?
There's multitudes of reasons,
yeah.
I believe. Right? Obviously, one of them is, like, I don't think story is an issue. I think there's a way you could do it with the story.
Yeah, of course.
I just think with the older generations, it was harder. So let's say PS4, PS3 was a lot harder for them to push out a Superman game. But now, I think that now is a really good time. Like PS5, PS6, the next Xbox, there will be an opportunity for WB to say, yeah, we need to get one out. And the mechanics, the flying mechanics and stuff like that, we've seen it happen with that Unreal, what's it called? Unreal Engine tech demo on the PlayStation, which is, has the character flying, and people are starting using that. So it can be done. And also
And
on
GTA mods, let's not forget about that.
Yeah, GTA mods. There's also that too. And there was an Invincible recently,
I saw that.
fan made game, which is like, if that can be made, surely Warner Brothers would take the opportunity to jump at the opportunity to say, oh, if these guys can make a fan made game, we can make it too.
Or,
surely. But,
hey guys, that they roll in. How would you like to make a Superman game for us? I'm just saying. That would be hilarious.
But
How about you,
like I said,
yeah, go ahead.
But like I said, it's like the flying. I think mostly it's the combat mechanics would be the most problematic thing. It's just the flying mechanics. Flying mechanics is simple.
Yeah,
the combat.
Exactly.
It's just the combat that's the really problem. But everything else, you should be fine.
I will say this: in the flying for Superman Returns, what they do. So if you hold down a button, you can like fly at super speed, like you would do. But if you hold it down for longer, you keep increasing speed to the point where all the sound turns off because you're going that fast. So I'll be doing that in the stream, but it is like ridiculously cool. How about you, Robert? Why do you think it's tough to make a Superman game?
I don't know if I can add that much more to what everyone else has already said, but I guess since I want to at least get this out before anyone else beats me to the punch. If there's one thing, though, I could, because I don't know about you guys, I've actually looked into that Superman game that never was, the one that Factor 5 did, and that one, oh man, we missed out so much. I don't know if you guys ever saw anything about it. We royally missed out when that game did not get made. But I personally feel that while the whole City of Health thing is a good idea in and of itself, there's also some problems. Like what would you do if you deal with Doomsday or Darkseid? If you were to have a game with that, then you're going to be invincible. If you ask me, and Doomsday's destruction comes with it. So I feel like if they're to do it, they need to find a balance. Maybe mesh the two. Have it be for most normal things, it's the health, the city is health. But when you're dealing with threats that actually can hurt you, then it goes to normal health.
How about Superman actually like takes the fight in a cutscene to like an isolated part of the city where there's no one there, and then that's where you switch over to normal health. What do you want to add, Nick?
So, does anyone remember the demo for the game Undefeated?
Yes, yeah, exactly. That was a good one. I played that.
Honestly, I think if you just would have swapped out the model for Superman, I think that could work as a Superman game.
He has the same powers.
To a point, but if you ask me, the problem is that then there's no one really wants to always play in God mode, which is what that game pretty much was.
Well, it's just you take elements from it, Robert.
No,
We're not saying directly copy paste it.
It's finding that, like we've said, finding that balance.
Well, see, here's the thing. What I would do if I were going with the Metropolis Health thing, I wouldn't use Doomsday or Darkseid. Don't. It's really that simple. Just don't use them, or have them be a DLC when Clark goes to like War World,
or like a final boss.
Like a final boss. Yeah, exactly. You don't make them like a boss that's actually in Metropolis. Or here's what you do. You make it so you could still do the destruction because you can make it so like that's the choice of like, I have to end this now. I have to kill Doomsday.
Perhaps that's not what I was getting at.
But I understand it. It's kind of like, it's tricky. What do you want to add, Teladia?
I was going to say, so Robert brought up about Factor 5.
Yeah.
Now, I know something about that game.
Go ahead.
That game was initially having Brainiac. It was going to have Doomsday. It was going to have Darkseid. It was going to have Kalibak. It was going to have Livewire, Metallo.
Yep.
It was only.
How big was this game going to be?
And
huge.
Huge.
It was actually going to be in chapters. That was the thing about this game.
But the other thing is sorry.
Go on.
I was going to say was Metropolis would also carry over some, not all, but some of the damage. Like you could actually fly, and actually punch them Doomsday into a building in real time.
So you could Man of Steel Zod him.
Yes,
Pretty much.
Mhm.
Exactly. What you want to say, Nick?
So just imagine they release this game, and then they do a DLC of the Man of Steel scenario, so you can actually fight Zod within this game.
Yeah.
And it's the Man of Steel scenario.
The other thing, by the way, so it's kind of funny. In returns, you fight Bizarro, and I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of imagine if this was Zod right now. That would be dope. But anyway, or how about this, Nick? A DLC when you fight Darkseid that turns into the World of Cardboard speech. I'm surprised we haven't gotten that in many other Superman media things since
I know what
the
you're
DCU.
doing when you meet Henry Cavill.
Oh yeah, I'm so having him do that. Exactly. But then so let's see.
He's raising his hand.
Oh yeah. Go ahead, Robert.
Sorry, how else am I to do it? I said I'm on my phone.
Okay. That was actually genius.
Yeah,
good idea. All right,
what I was going to say was, if you're going to do how about this? Instead of a DLC, they could do a spin-off game, which just for one game, you get the Electric Blue story. And in that case, though, because of how his powers work, he can actually be hurt.
Yeah. That would actually work. Okay, so let's transition to how we would make a Superman game, because the first thing I would do is implement a variation of the Metropolis health thing, because like we said, that is the one mechanic that gets around the he is invulnerable thing.
The second thing we must do is hire Tom King to be the writer.
Okay, so Nick has officially been banned from Comics League for all eternity. Okay, and you know what, Nick? I'm just gonna give you this.
Weeb.
In his defense, though, we already know how well he can write Superman. It's not like this is a Wonder Woman game.
It's a mini series. Trust me. Remember, the first 6 issues of Wonder Woman are not bad. You give Tom King enough, it will inevitably devolve. What do you want to say, Teladia?
So here's the thing. When it comes down to making a Superman game, the first thing has to be his power set level. Not the city health bar.
True, yeah.
It should be his power set level. I personally think Superman the Animated Series would be a very ideal choice for that set of tone for a video game.
Yeah,
or early post-crisis too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, because that's when you really had Superman was like made intentionally a little more vulnerable, so they can like give him more stuff. What do you want to say, Nick?
All right. So here is an idea. You guys can take this or leave it. So this is just my idea. Like, what if at the beginning of the game, someone has like a red sun ray, and Superman takes like a direct hit from the red sun ray, and when he gets hit, it kind of resets his powers a little bit.
Ooh.
So that way, can I finish, please?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I'm sorry. I didn't want to be rude or anything. Yeah. So basically, this gives you an excuse to do like a level up system where like you can have a skill tree where you can like manually relearn all of his powers. It allows kind of thing. It only really works for one game, but I think for like if you're gonna do a one-off Superman game, that's a mechanic that could work.
Wait, Nick. You actually gave me an idea. There's a power that Superman does called the Solar Flare that New 52 did. What that is, it's essentially that, except what Superman can do is so you start off the game full power, you're like punching through parademons or something like that, whoever the villain is. Then Superman has to unleash the Solar Flare, because what the Solar Flare does is that for 24 hours he doesn't have his powers. So he has to like rebuild that. That gets to your system there.
Opening scenario is Doomsday.
That can work too.
Another possibility is here's something else I would implement, and this will go in conjunction with the other stuff: a day to night cycle. And that when it's daytime, he's at his strongest, even when he's at his weakest. When it's nighttime, his powers are much more lower. And especially, he's more likely to run out of solar energy.
Yeah,
That
because like he's like a solar battery. What we could do, like I want to kind of expand upon it. I think that's a good idea. I think that's a really good idea. If I were to expand upon it, basically during the daytime, maybe has like regenerating health, maybe some like regenerating power stuff. But if it's like a nighttime level, or if it's set during the night, he doesn't regenerate, or his powers doesn't regenerate, or it's a lot slower. I'm just trying to think of
what you could also do.
I think it's a good idea. I think he has a good idea here.
In the third act of the game, you could have it where the villain blots out the sun. So the third act of the game, you have that added challenge. Which one to add, Teladia?
I was gonna say, if you're gonna make this game as well, I would also say the way the world should be, I think it should be like Arkham City style, and not fully fledged open world, because I think that way people can explore Metropolis, but also at the same time, it's not where to the point where we're bashing into things like Arkham Knight, where the point.
Well,
if you know,
what you could do, make it so like the maps are open world, but they're not like expansive like Tavia says, it's semi-open world. I'll get to you, Robert. But what you could do is like some of the game takes place in like an isolated part of Metropolis. Part of it takes place maybe on Apocalypse. Some of it takes off on like, let's say Oa or something like that. I'm just naming off locations. War World, that's good. And then those areas are expansive. It's kind of like a Lego game where like all those different like free roaming areas, but they're relatively small. So yes, Teladia makes a good point. That way you can free roam a lot of stuff. Well, I'll go to Robert and then you Nick. Go ahead, Robert.
Well, first of all, I just got an idea. I just got the entire story thought up in my head. But when we get to that, let me know. Let me go first. But the other thing is, because I think this game should be story driven like some of the other ones. I say go a bit Spider-Man 1 and 2-ish, and have there be some moments where you are Clark, but you do have don't let loose your secret identity kind of a thing. So you actually, but you have the potential of doing it, which results in a game over.
Oh, that'd be an interesting system. What do you want to add, Nick?
So let's say they're trying to do this and they have to cut the dark side level. Would that be considered canceling the apocalypse?
Nice. I love that. That's a good one. But Cameron says, wait, imagine a level where you're stuck in the Phantom Zone. You have to get out. Mon-El is there for you in player 2, and you fight against Zod or the Phantom King. That
could be the requisite trippy level that all these games seem to want to have.
Yeah, like Scorpion being stung, or Scarecrow.
Or I got one. What if there's a mission where Apollo invades and you have to fight him alongside Wonder Woman? I'm just saying, bro. That mission would be. That
would be the sequel thing. That would be a sequel thing.
No. Here's what you could do. My game would be like kind of like an anthology story where it's Superman's finest moments. So that way you don't necessarily have to do Metropolis Health for everything. You could do the Death of Superman Doomsday, the World of Cardboard, because I would demand that we would get that, Nick. The Superman punching Apollo through a volcano you could do.
And so as you're questing, you get a ding on your quest hub, and it says meet Diana at the diner.
Yes, exactly.
And then you fly into the diner. He transforms into Clark Kent, and then you get a cutscene where Clark and Diana go on a date.
And then what I do is I take a selfie and send it to Robert, and I go, "Guess who Superman's with?"
Oh, even better. So Lois Lane's trying to interrupt. Clark shuts him down, and after Lois walks away, Diana looks at the clock and says, "Well, that was lame."
Well, in the Throne of Atlantis movie, they had a moment like that where Clark and Diana are at a date at the diner. It's based on that scene, but Lois shows up and she basically disrupts their date. So she goes to shake Diana's hand, and Diana shakes her hand, and then Lois goes, "Man, that's a mighty grip you got." Diana's like, what do you want to say, Teladia?
So I'm going to put this out there. I don't think they will do the whole Superman Wonder Woman thing. I think they're going to put Superman with Clark. I think that would be
Superman
the benefit.
With Clark?
Wait, Superman with Clark?
Sorry. Superman with Lois. That's what I meant to say. Okay,
Nick?
Superman with Lois.
Looks like Teladia had an old man moment this time.
Hey, I am old, so.
Happens to the best of us, sir.
He's admitted it happens to 1 in 5 men. But anyway,
So,
but I mean,
but yeah.
but I'm saying that's why the vignette part is like you could do that, because then you could have a part that takes place during that. You could have a Death of Superman area and stuff, and then the DLCs can be other Superman moments that you could do, like even scenes from the movies, i.e., the Zod fight.
No, what happens is halfway through the game, Lois reveals that she's been cheating on Clark with Steve Trevor.
Or they give her Zod's powers, and then she goes, "I am Zois."
Oh my god,
that's so good. And then everyone's like, "Oh, that's lame." But anyway, but so you could, yeah. So that's essentially kind of the way you could like roll with that. Or here's what you do. You could take RPG elements in there and leave it up to the player's choice. Do you want to romance Lana, Diana, or Lois? And just do it that way. Because that way, hey, if you want Chloe, you can get Chloe. If you want Super Wonder, you can get Super Wonder. If you want Superman to date a mermaid, Lori's right there in the ocean.
What about Super Barda?
Oh no. What you want to say, Robert? Save us from this cringe.
Okay, first of all, you're getting a little too big with the story. The story would be straightforward.
Yeah, but
one
Robert,
story, not too many choices. Like
Robert,
you made it funny. You made it funny.
Robert, the purpose of this is if we were in control and we could do whatever we want. It's like ignoring the it's too big part.
Jared, he made a pun. You realize that, right? He said you got too big with it.
What?
He just flew over his
because I
head.
said Super Barda. He said you're getting too big of the story.
That was unintentional. Wow, that's great. I love that.
I thought he was being intentional, but still.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the way, because that's the way I would do it, because that way, yeah. Assuming, again, this is assuming we could do whatever we want with the games. It's not like, let me put it this way, the normal restrictions don't apply. So it's like, even if you want John to be in the game, Tevia, you could do that, and you could have him be the kid John. We all know that Tevia wants that. But yeah, essentially like that. Oh, and then Cameron asked real quick, what could Arkham City be for a Superman game? I almost want to say Bill, or maybe like one borough of Metropolis, like the one that has like the Daily Planet and stuff.
I'd say a handful of boroughs like that, but also include Suicide Slum. You got to include Suicide Slum.
Well, you could don't make the entire city one map. Have it like individual parts that you can like fast travel to, and then those are open world.
I'll be honest, I think Suicide Squad that kills the Justice League got Metropolis right, to be fair. I think they got it right.
In a lot of ways. Okay, who was first?
Teladia was first.
Yeah, go ahead, Teladia.
I think if you're going to do, like Robert's got it right? The Suicide Squad map is the right size if you're going to do an open world game. But for like an Arkham City style or Arkham Origin style, I would say you would need Metropolis to be Daily Planet to be the center of the map, and everything else is like you could have like different territories where one territory is Lex Luthor owned, another territory is Bruno Mannheim, another territory is the
So what
Intergang.
you're telling me, Teladia, is that Superman needs to return, because that's literally what happens. Here's the thing, though. Here's the problem. Okay, Metropolis in Suicide Squad is good for the Suicide Squad. Remember, Superman can fly in at super speed. So if you do like the Suicide Squad size map for Superman, he's gonna go from like one end in like 2 seconds.
That's true. That is true. That is the city does need to be. I would say if you want to go for size, go for Spider-Man 2 New York size. That was huge.
You could probably
and you
do
can
that.
you pretty much can fly in that game.
Hey,
with
what's up,
the web
NJ?
wings.
What's up, Nick?
So one idea I just had for a game is what if we have it be like a younger Clark who just got to Metropolis and is still figuring out his powers.
So it's a new 52 Clark?
No, even better. Like basically at the beginning of the game, Clark can't fly. He can barely jump. He has like some super speed.
Golden Age.
and like he learned, like he basically he gets the powers gradually over the course of the game. So basically, at the beginning of the game, he has like super speed, invulnerability, and strength. Sure. Because basically, I'm trying to think of it from a mechanics perspective.
Yeah.
And Superman game, you need some sort of progression, like gaining your powers back, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's actually a good idea because what they can do, they can use that to like homage like the golden age era Superman. Like the first time you save someone, the mission ends with him recreating the catching the green car. And it's like the super that here's what you do. The game starts into the mission, you're saving someone, and then the shot where you left up the green car, that's the title shot. That's when Superman that's when the Superman game title shows up. What you want to say, Teladia?
No, I was just gonna say, it's a good idea, but I would say Silver Age. I think it's
No.
Wait.
Broken.
So you want the Superman that can carry planets on his back on the chain?
Or
No,
can
I mean, in
speed and knock a galaxy away.
Maybe story elements you could take from that.
Well, yeah. So actually, you know what? You guys, okay. So Robert, and then we'll transition to story.
Well,
I have one more idea that I want to share, but I'll go last.
Okay.
Actually,
Yeah.
Well, mine was actually the story-related one.
Okay, so I'll go to Nick, and then we'll come to you, Robert. Go ahead, Nick.
So, who here remembers the cartoon Superman and the Legion of Superheroes?
I do.
I never watched it. I still haven't.
So the thing about that version of Superman is he's essentially Superboy, and he's still getting used to his powers. So this is going to be a little bit of stretching it. You make a Legion game with Superman in it, and it's Superboy, and maybe you have it be like Ultimate Avengers, like Ultimate Alliance style game. Like it's like a team-based stuff, and Superman is in it. But it's like Superboy, and you have all the other Legionnaires.
Here's what you could do, Nick, on that. You could, if you want to do like that, you could have it be kind of like a time crisis like game, because that way you could have the different versions from different timelines show up. Like you could have like Superman, like Death of Superman, the coward one that was in the Rebirth book. There's so many different things you could do, or you could have Superman and Wonder Woman team up. I really want that. I really want that. But so let's get to story. And Robert, so you were the one that had the story idea. So let's hear it. Impress me.
Okay, first of all, we open up with him fighting someone. It could be Zod, it could be Darkseid, it could be Superboy Prime, but it ends with Superman losing his powers. We do the 1 year later up and away opening where. So you have that opening bit. We see him powerful. Then 1 year later, he's been Clark the whole time. He's, still hasn't gotten his powers back, but things seem to have been on the quiet side until things start to pick up again. It starts off with inner games first, and which Clark is already doing an expose on. We do some Clark missions until his powers start to come back, but they're coming back slowly. So it actually goes Golden Age, then and moving their way upward. And then as it's going on, the threats start to escalate more and more. So you start to get Bizarro and all that, until it's revealed that it was Lex who is the final boss, and it ends with him in that giant Sunstone mech from up and away.
All right, can I say this? Okay, if we're gonna do that, the parts where he's like Clark Kent cannot be that long in the game because that's gonna be boring as hell.
Oh no!
Yeah, because those could very easily descend into like Mary Jane missions.
Yeah, exactly. And you need and to be clear, I kind of get you have a good basis of an idea, Robert. A good basis. That's good. So my idea for the story is it's based on the Grant Morrison Action Comics, because in that he didn't necessarily use a lot of his powers. You start off, you're fighting low level like criminals, because that's kind of what Grant did, is that they had Superman fight like corrupt politicians and stuff. Then as the fight escalates, that's when Clark learns more about his powers. And then what you get is that the final boss is maybe Brainiac from that, and that's when he gets like the suit as well, because and for most of the run, at least for the first, like, I think it's like the first arc or so, he has the t-shirt and jeans. So you could do that, and then like, yeah, it could end with him forming the Justice League. But there's any number of things you could do. By the way, NJ has a good question. Could we have Mixoplick be the final boss? That would be funny.
No.
Okay, quick
DLC.
question.
DLC. What do you want
All
to say,
right,
Nick?
here's my question. If we have Mr. Mapitzanik, who is voicing him?
Oh,
The guy from the Chaos game.
Cosmic Chaos game. Yeah, that one worked.
Justin
Gilbert
Roiland.
gone. There's no. I can't think of anyone else.
Mm-hmm. I think that's
Justin
But,
Roiland,
I was
he's
just-
doing a variation of his Morty voice.
Oh.
But I was also gonna say was, but I was gonna add one other thing. But there would be some side missions that would be based off of stuff like versus the Elite, or something with the Legion showing up, things like that, where those would be some of the side stories, shorter missions and everything. And yes, there would be some stuff. I would think, well, Lois would not be playable, and I will make that clear, because that would be too much like the Mary Jane. No, that would be too much. I'm only saying because that would be too much like the Mary
Give
Jane.
Lois
stuff.
a taser.
No, well, if I were playing as Lois, I would just keep walking off the edge of the map constantly. I'm sorry, I had to. It's me. You guys
Give
know.
Lois a thing that throws that makes noises
First-
to distract
first of all,
the
no.
guards so she can sneak past.
No, Lois could just kick their asses if they were just normal
No,
thugs.
not this Lois. She gets a
Yes.
whoopee cushion.
No, dude. And my idea was what I'm talking about. Lois would be the the army brat taught by her dad to know how to take down a thug.
Okay, that works for your story idea.
And in this game, Lois breaks up with Superman because she's tired of being saved all the time. Yeah, she gets into danger and asks Superman to save her.
Nick.
Sorry, I'm just ripping off all the Spider-Man plots.
Nick, no, Nick. So did you see? So obviously you haven't seen the last season of Harley Quinn.
I haven't seen
They tear Lois apart in this season. She is inept. She spills coffee on herself, and everyone thinks she peed herself. It's the best. And I'm watching this, and I'm like, all of a sudden, I really like this show. It's like she has a whole thing where Joker lectures her about always needing Superman. And I'm watching this, and I'm like, because my friend Jin, who occasionally comes on the Super Wonder show, even he goes, Jared, you have to watch Harley Quinn. They dunk on Lois. And I'm like, oh, I love this. So, Teladia, I'm going to go with you next. Give me a good Superman story for a video game. Go.
Okay, so firstly, I'll take inspirations from Earth 1.
Okay, that's good.
Secret Origin.
Okay.
And I would also take nitpicks from All-Star Superman. Just a little bit.
Okay, how? Because Superman is ridiculously powerful in All-Star Superman.
So the way Clark is.
Oh, the
in that-
bumblingness.
Yeah. So that's what.
Ooh. What you could do to spice up the Clark Kent missions is that if you need to like distract someone, maybe you go full like bumbling, like you like bump into a guard and he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I must have a misstep." And you can kind of play off that.
Like Clark at the prison. Like
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's sort of something I was looking into. I was thinking maybe that could be a thing, but my personal relationship, if I had to put Clark / Superman with, it'd be with Lois. To be honest with you.
You traitor! Why would you do that?
But it's you got to think about the general audience.
The general audience already thinks Superman's with Wonder Woman.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. In my experience, they do.
Dude, no, they don't.
Yes,
Most
they do.
people know-
Robert, I'm
Dude.
going off of my experience, obviously, okay?
And
But-
Jared's
but-
experience is superior. He owns this channel.
So I'm
No.
just saying, Jared, right? For my thing, right? For the general audience, knows Superman is with Lois. So for that type of relationship in the game would be ideal, and it would definitely get people invested in the game. And also there could be a dynamic where you could have Lois have a mission as well. That's what story could be interesting too. Like where she's the one who has to try and help Clark investigate this mission. Like, for example, there's an atomic bomb in a city center, and Lois has to investigate, try and find out missing clues.
Are you going to make her do the Spider-Man 3 bomb defusal quick time event?
Oh, even better. The bomb is actually laced with kryptonite, so Superman can't get anywhere near it. So in order to defuse the bomb, Lois has to go in.
That's not a bad explanation. That is not a bad explanation.
That's not a bad explanation.
And
yeah.
by the way, Engine's on my side. Thank you. It's nice to know someone's on my side besides Nick. I got you, brother. So Nick, about
you have a Twitch question that I think.
No, I still got to continue on. So.
Oh yeah,
okay.
Go
so
on.
I was gonna also say in the, like, not only the side question, I would also put Easter eggs in.
Okay.
So I would Easter egg Batman. I would Easter egg the Justice League characters, but I would also Easter egg in stuff that has happened in the comics.
Yeah.
So stuff that is, let's say whether it's Rebirth, New 52, All Star, whatever comic it is, will be in there, and people will be referenced to that. But I would also put in Easter eggs to writers and directors and artists. That's
they
only
did
been
that. Do you know what they did in the Lego Batman game?
Go on.
Movie, when they're showing footage of Superman fighting Zod in the news footage, in the bottom it says footage recorded by Z. Snyder. I know. I looked at the bottom of the screen and I'm like, wait, what?
So in other words, they were going off the blueprints.
Nice one.
But
yeah,
back to what I was saying. But it's like there's only one instance where this has happened. It's actually Batman Arkham Shadow, where they had writers and they had writers and artists, all in this game. So I think that'd be cool to have in a Superman game. We could have artists, writers, and also even have poster walls, like how they did in the Morbius film, where they had
it's Morbin time.
Just imagine that they have artwork, but for variant covers from comics. Now that would be cool.
That would actually work. Like you could have it where you can decorate Clark's apartment with Superman posters, but it's actually posters from that they're covers from the comics. All of mine is just all of Superman and Wonder Woman. I'm just kidding.
And then after you do the date mission with Diana, and you officially start the romance quest line, you get the cover from the New 52.
Yeah. Or you know what I would do? That'd be funny. If I'm playing Teladia's game and I can't do that, but I can have the cover. The mission, I would have it where whatever posters you have in the game, like on Clark's wall, show up in the cutscenes. So when Lois comes to visit Clark for a date, it's covered with the kiss cover with Superman and Wonder Woman. I go, hey Lois, looks like you got some competition.
So I'm also going to say this as well. Jimmy is a big factor in this story as well.
Okay.
He has a big factor to play in this story because he's a key factor between Superman and the Daily Planet. And also Lex is a big villain. He's going to be the biggest villain for the first game.
Yeah,
because I'm doing a treat. Yeah. So, but the thing is, Lex is setting him up, so to say, setting up Superman in such a big way that he has no idea what's going on. So Clark has to be the guy to investigate. Clark and Lois has to be the two people to investigate things. And Jimmy Olsen is the guy. You do Jimmy Olsen mission where you have to do photography missions. That would be awesome. Like Spider-Man. That would be awesome to do as well.
Or you have to use Jimmy to evidence of Lex's business dealings. So you're
Yes.
that's the stealth part. You have to get a picture of Lex shaking a business deal. So Nick, real quick. In TMO, yes, we have. I have played the Superman Returns game. We talked about that, so be sure to check the beginning. Tevia says, I'm curious, what other villains will you add to this game? Maybe we could have Rogozar. I'm not having anything from He Who Must Not Be Named Superman Run.
Oh, wait, read the rest.
Oh, yeah, okay. In this game, but as a joke villain similar to Electrocutioner, I still would not use it because then He Who Must Not Be Named would get royalties, and I don't want that.
May I make one little addition for a side
Sure.
mission? Well, actually, I was thinking with this. You could, if you want to have there be choices, you could have it be which type of Superman are you? You could actually make decisions where, not saying that you kill, but you could be more aggressive or more, those type of choices. And
you
one
do kill.
mission,
I personally think a morality system in Superman
Let
isn't
Robert
a good
finish.
idea. That's my personal thoughts.
Yeah.
And as I was saying, and for one joke, there is a mission where there's a movie being made of Superman, and you have two people arguing, basically Zach and Gunn, and you could decide whose take you for them to go with. It's just a little gag thing, just a little joke.
Yeah, but the problem is
but it
that would
adds to
definitely
more-
be
but it
used
adds
to
to-
like
I'm just saying, it adds to the morality system, is all I'm saying.
But I agree with Nick. A morality system for Superman. Now, I would say I like the idea of a choice thing. Like you can choose to be like the super bright Superman or the like darker, and maybe that could affect like how people see you, kind of like in Batman versus Superman. So I get that, but I would say they give you the choice to take out Zod if Zod's a villain in this. That they do give you that option. So you can like have that debate.
The only way I could see this working is not do like a good evil,
no,
but kind of do more of a Mass Effect style Paragon Renegade.
Yeah, I would say, dude. Well, yes, and make look like the quote unquote renegade option not look like a dick, but yeah, I know
like basically Renegade is smart aleck. He's kind of ends justify the means. Like he kills some people. Like the city does not like him, but he's still a good person. He's still a hero, but he's more rougher around the edges.
And people are like the
he's
suicide reflex.
Sorry.
Oh, and Tevye says, yeah, essentially kind of like Telltale Batman, where they're like, this person will remember that. Except you spend less time as Clark Kent as you did in that game with Bruce Wayne.
Wonder Woman will remember that.
Yes, exactly. She'll definitely remember her time with me. But anyway, so now I want to talk about the Easter eggs to wrap up, because this is where we can get fun. Because what costumes should we throw in here besides the obvious with the movie costumes? Obviously, here's the first choice in the game: Trunks or no Trunks.
No, only Trunks, which is basically just Superman with a cape and just the trunks.
It's like the Spider-Man costume where it's just the mask and the underwear.
But you got to include the cape. The cape.
Well, of course. It would look ridiculous without the cape. Not in the underwear, but in the cape. But yeah, you could do that. New 52.
That's the Superman.
Yeah. The black suit also from ZSJL, obviously.
Also, Teladia had a comment.
Real quick. The Zach suits, the gun suits, so everyone can make jokes about it. How about you, Teladia?
So for me, I would say post-crisis, post-crisis, definitely I would, put New 52. But I would also add in Rebirth, which is, they've never done that. Like Rebirth.
Yeah, go ahead.
Rebirth without the trunks, basically, before the Action Comics 1000.
So there were two Rebirth costumes, though. Are you talking about the one with the gold belt or the one with the red belt? Because there were two.
The red belt.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Here's my problem with that belt. Because, Nick, what's the purpose of the trunks?
To resemble strongmen of the 30s.
No, I mean in terms of like a color theory.
It breaks up the colors of the area.
Here's the problem with the first Rebirth suit. This is what it looks like.
Yeah, like those. Yeah, there's just a big blob of blue.
The belt is too thin. See, here's the thing. If they made the trunks just a coloration and drew it so it's definitely not like a separate piece, like a diaper, I could see that being used. It's just the problem is too many creatives draw it like actual trunks on the outside of his pants. But I see what you're saying, Claudia, and yeah, you could include that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the Man of Steel suit, and they have even less of it, but they have a bunch of lines that like kind of go down, and you see the belts. Like they do a really good job of like directing the eye to where they want you to go. So I think it actually looks like the Man of Steel suit, even though he has even less of a belt, it works a heck of a lot better because there's more of an attention there.
So
exactly.
I was gonna also say. So I was going to continue with my list.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was also say New 52, right? But I would also say like obviously the movie skins from 1977 to right now.
All the movie skins you can include.
Yeah, all the movie skins. I would say Injustice 1. Now I would use the hero one, not the villain one, but the hero.
That works.
The hero Superman. That I would use that. In terms of comics though, red and blue, electric red and blue, put that into the video game skins. That'd be pretty cool to have. I would also say maybe have the Super Batman.
Oh, you mean from like Speeding Bullets?
Yes.
Oh, that's actually a great idea.
That's a great. It's a
You
creative
start throwing
idea.
in a bunch of Batman skins just to screw with people. Which one?
No,
Oh no! Until Audie finishes his stuff, then I'll go.
Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, Super Batman, and I would also say even put in, that Green Lantern, Superman, Batman mashed into one.
You mean in the World's Finest comic?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you can do that.
That would be a really cool skin to have. A lot many people don't think the way I think, but it's a crazy idea, and I thought that'd be cool to have.
That works.
As a pre
really well.
As a pre-order bonus, you get the 1938 first appearance.
Okay, I dig it.
That's how you encourage people to pre-order, because you know people are going to want to play as Action Comics 1. All right.
So that's my list
Nick,
anyway. So.
All
Give
right,
me some suits, bro.
All right, so probably bring in some of the Death of Superman, like the Eradicator suit. Probably like an adult version of Superboy. Also, you know that one Justice League Unlimited episode where he gets flung into the future, and he grows a beard.
Well, yeah, of course. Oh, you mean where he has the fur pelt and Wonder Woman goes, "I like the beard, keeping it."
Yes, we do.
Justice Lord.
Yes. Maybe Earth X Superman.
Earth X. That's a Marvel thing.
Oh, okay.
No, you mean the Nazi? You mean the Nazi one?
I was trying not to say the name, but yeah.
Nazi Superman. Yeah, that's a good costume right there. That would certainly get people talking.
Let's see here. I already said Death of Superman. Yeah, Red Sun suit. Thank you, NJ. That's actually a really good one.
I forgot about that suit. I forgot about that one.
And so here's the thing. You know how I would do, Teladia? If I include the new 52 suit, the little one sentence like description of each suit that was like a fun little play on words, it would just say a super wonderful suit. There you go.
Of course.
Here's a suit we forgot.
Wow.
Absolute Superman.
Kingdom Come.
Yes. And, the 90s suit where he fights him. He fights him. No. Yes, there's another. Robert, what's the story where Superman fights Doomsday again in like he has a head sock?
Hunter Prey.
That's what he's talking about. It's because what happened to Teladia is that Doomsday didn't die when he fought Superman. Hank Henshaw flew him into space, and then a spaceship picked him up, and Doomsday went on a rampage again. Superman had to fly to Apocalypse to fight him again.
Okay, I've never read that comic.
His suit from Superman the Animated Series, where he fully became the son of Darkseid.
Yes. Oh, you know what I would do for fun? Nuclear Man from Superman 4.
Oh God.
That comes under movies, Jared.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure I referenced that just so we could.
Bizarro suit.
That would work. Yeah, we'll get to you in a second, Robert.
The Superman spacesuit. Like, I'm just pulling for Superman the Animated Series.
I mean, there's a lot in there, and they all look really cool. The environmental suit, like when he fought Metallo, you could do that. There's any number of really good Superman suits. So you mind if I go and they'll go to Robert?
It's your show, dude.
All right. New 52 Action Comics, both Action Comics suit. In other words, the first one from obviously the 38, the T-shirt and jeans from New 52, Kingdom Come, obviously, Red Sun. I like that one. I would have to go with if I want to go really like obscure, Superman, Son of Superman, the Elseworlds book, when Superman had a son with Lois. Superman went to the Middle East, was captured and put on ice for like 10 years, and came out. The Justice League were all corporate shills. Wonder Woman was like manipulating things behind the scenes. Martian Manhunter got deported to Mars. Yes, that's how stupid this story ends. I would go with Superman Year One. Oh, I got Frank Miller's Superman suits. Godfall, like the Michael Turner Superman, and his little statue, like model that you see that shows you the costume has his Akira bike right there. I would go with that.
The Akira slides are cool.
Yes, they are very cool. It's almost like a certain Screeching character did them.
Somebody say Screecher?
Yeah. I would have one that's like a little bit of an effect. But what I mean by that, so there's a scene again, Superman Wonder Woman, when he's blasted by sunlight, and it's New 52 Superman, but he's glowing gold.
I have an idea for a great costume for Superman.
What?
So in this game, there's like a small DLC where he does a crossover with a very popular indie comic called Atlas. And so Superman wears the Atlas suit.
Yeah, that would actually work. That would be a mod. That would definitely be a mod that I could tell Dawson.
You would commission that.
I was so like if I had a Wonder Woman game on PC, I would definitely commission it. Can you make an Athena one, please? Thank you. And then I would stream it and say, wait, Athena's teaming up with Wonder Woman. There you go. But NJ says Injustice suit, or you want to forget about that version. You can have the hero I'm not. You can include it as long as you're not being the Injustice Superman. Like in terms of when we say morality system, we don't mean you could be Injustice Superman. And Tevia says Darkseid War suit when he's filled with Darkseid energy. Oh, the black and white one when he's like reversed. That would be cool. That would actually work really well. I like that one. Good job, Tavia. And you could do like for another suit, maybe you could include other Superman adjacent characters like Steel. And you could do like you could actually do the John Kent Son of Superman suit that he wore in the Tom Taylor book that Tevia hates so much. And let's see what else. Yeah, those are pretty much all my suits. How about you, Robert? What do you got?
Oh, is there any left?
You can repeat. I repeated a bunch by people.
I guess War World, Last Son of Earth, where he's a Green Lantern, Bizarro, but instead he actually talks like Bizarro.
Mm-hmm.
That's about all I can think of.
That would kind of work. I would like that. That'd be fun. Where, you see, so essentially you can have the same actor record the line twice. Once as Superman, one is Bizarro. So when you're using that costume, it actually changes his dialogue. Oh, that works, actually. Will Martha and Jonathan Kent be in the game? As cameos, yes. As cameos, yes. I'm pretty sure all of us would have the Kents be like cameos in the game. Okay.
Jared, I'm about to make you a very happy man.
What are you breaking up, Lois? I'm only kidding. What?
Check your Twitter DMs.
All right. Let me see. Oh wow. So, okay, now I need. So Nick sent me a thing where you could play as the armored Batman suit in Arkham Knight. In Gotham Knight. So I'm gonna need to get Gotham Knight for the PC then. Okay.
Which if you do, we can play co-op.
Oh yeah, we might have to do that. You'll be using like another modded suit, and I'll be basically playing Batman, so I can tell you what to do.
I like honestly.
Wait,
I wish I knew the cost. If I would like I am like if I could I kind of want to find out how much it would cost to commission a mod.
You know what's hilarious, Nick? You know what I just realized?
What?
if the Batman versus Superman suit becomes a Red Hood skin, he's using guns.
It
He's
is
using
for all
two
characters. It is for all characters.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. How would you guys do Bruno Mannheim DLC? Like, he's like all of a sudden the like maybe like human characters have like more powerful guns because he gets the stuff from Apocalypse, or maybe if you make Darkseid the main villain, Bruno Mannheim is like a sub boss because of Intergang and stuff. So you could do that, but I think that's a good place to leave it. Would you guys play any of our games? Just let me know in the comments. What other character would you like to put in? But so Teladia, where can we find you and what have you got coming out on your channel?
Okay, you guys check me out on YouTube at Teladia Plays. What I've got coming up on my channel, I'll be doing some podcasting with Siobhan, and we may have a special guest coming up very soon to talk about DCU stuff, very exciting stuff, and also I'll be doing absolute reports with Robert, as we're going to be covering Absolute Green Lantern and Absolute Flash.
Dope. Old man Nick, how about you? You know I had to.
All right. So tomorrow I'll be doing my Friday Night Frenzy. We'll be talking about swear words in video games and comics. Are they good? Are they bad? Or does it matter on the usage? On Saturday, I'll be playing Cyberpunk 2077. And on Sunday, I'll be having a very good-looking and very popular YouTube creator. It'll be May the 4th, so we will do as Romans do and talk about Star Wars games.
How about you, Robert?
You can check my channel down below. I do Pro Teaches Noobs. I'm coming up on 550 soon, and yeah.
Hell yeah. So stay heroic, everyone. Remember, we should also do it for a Wonder Woman game. It was fun. Oh yeah, we'll do a follow-up stream. Actually, you know what, NJ? Next week we're doing it with Wonder Woman, so we'll do that. That will be the topic for next week's Under Two Capes. So thank you, NJ. I don't have to come up with a topic for Under Two Capes. Thank you. So stay heroic, everyone. And remember, Lois Lane is Lois Lame. She belongs to General Zod, and Steve Trevor, Steve Never. He belongs 6 feet in the ground. Zois and Max about for life. We will see you later. Bye-bye.